playing with Quinn now?
He's just going through practice. Maybe get him a couple of reps during when we get to Green Bay, but we're going to ease him in and just use this week to kind of give him a chance to get his win back.
Probably no game then this week.
Robert, in preseason, on the schematic standpoint, how much do you try to hold back some of your more complex defensive calls, so the teams in week 1, week 2 don't have that type of advantage?
It's really not so much to kind of hold it back from week 1, but more of a chance to give these guys a chance to go play. So you saw from the Giants, I mean, 2 very basic vanilla offenses, defenses, and special teams. Give our guys a chance to just line up, play football. A lot of time, like we said, over 30 guys. It was their first preseason game, and just to keep the thinking off of them, so they can go play and showcase who they are.
We saw Ryan Griffin come off with a trainer. Do you have an update?
He's being evaluated for a hamstring. We'll know more later on this afternoon.
Going into this week, do you have any updates on Elijah? Both of the Elijahs, like technically.
Yeah. So Vera Tucker obviously still day to day. Elijah Moore, not expecting him this week. Hopeful to get him back next week for Philadelphia. Not worried about his status for week 1.
Once Quinn gets back, what do you like about the defensive line? What will you like about it?
Man, the depth. We can truly come at them in waves. We usually activate 8 guys on defense on the D line, and we want all 8 playing a significant amount. And especially on the inside, where you've got Quinnen and Foley and Shep and Rank, and then Tenzel's doing a great job, and so is John Marshall, and I'm sure I'm missing someone, but it's a really good interior group. It's very deep, and the amount of push they get is pretty cool.
How would you compare it to your 49er interior?
Never want to compare. Always compete, but they're effective in their own different ways. At the end of the day, it's about winning, and we got tremendous confidence in this group winning at a very high rate, no different than what the Niners were able to do.
When you get Quinn, when he's 100% back to his old self, how do you think this scheme will accentuate what he does best?
The man is just pure mass, right? I mean, you look at him; he's enormous, and to get all that mass moving forward without having to read anything on the fly is just absolute attack up front. It's hard to stop that mass from moving, especially with how strong he is, how smart he is, how violent he is, and how explosive he is. So the amount of knockback that we feel like he'll be able to generate in this scheme, and the amount of disruptions that we feel like he'll be able to generate, it's going to be awesome. But obviously he's behind. He didn't have OTAs, didn't have training camp, and he's got a lot of catching up because it's not a simple technique. It takes a lot of reps, a lot of trust, and so getting him back is exciting.
When we talk to defensive linemen, they talk about your system. They talk, and you've said it too, going straight forward, kind of full steam. Are there risks with that at all in terms of draws, screens, letting the guy step up? Like, what's the teaching point in that?
There's things that offenses will do to kind of slow us down, and but that's all part of the teaching progression too. There's one thing that when you talk about screens, I talk about defending screens being all about effort, especially on the defensive line level. You got to stick your foot in the ground, retrace, and we call them stack monsters. They're coming out the stack and their hair is on fire trying to get to the ball carrier. So there's stuff offenses will do. They'll attack different techniques, but when you do it as much as we do, you get used to it, and those guys know how to react pretty quickly to when they actually see it happening.
What do you want to see from your corners this week as they go against Green Bay?
Compete. It's no different. Just compete every day. Obviously, the jersey's different. The players are different. We feel like we've got really good receivers here, and they've been competing their butts off against them. It's going to be no different with Green Bay, and a lot of respect for the ones that they've got over there, and it's just a great opportunity for us to go compete.
Robert, under the radar guy for some of us. St. Louis has had 3 picks over the last several days. What if he moved from corner to safety? What have you seen from him?
He's been doing a nice job. He obviously there's a learning process that he's got to go through, going from corner to safety and feel and all that. And I thought he's done a really nice job through OTAs and training camp, and he's stacked up some good days, and he's got to continue to stack things up. But encouraged with the way it's gone for him so far.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks everybody.